Alex Carter had never expected that a simple trip to the marketplace would change his life forever. He had been on Xylaris for only a few days. His human team sent here to study alien technology and cultural practices. The planet was a marvel, a city that floated above a vast, shimmering ocean, with buildings that glowed in colors Alex had no names for. Stalls hovered gently in midair, their goods suspended by anti-gravity fields. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved gracefully, some walking on multiple limbs, others hovering with wings or levitating devices. Alex, however, was not graceful. His human legs were stiff in the low-gravity environment, and he had a terrible habit of tripping over the smallest things. Today, he had been distracted, staring at a stall selling bioluminescent fabrics that shimmered like starlight. He didn't notice the long, elegant tail coiling gently behind one of the shoppers until it was too late. His foot landed squarely on it. Alex froze. He had done it. The tail was strong and thick, but clearly sensitive. Immediately, he felt the weight of the alien's gaze before he even looked up. Slowly, he lifted his head, expecting anger, maybe even a sharp reprimand. Instead, he saw the most astonishing sight. The alien woman who now towered above him was unlike anything he had seen before. She was tall, her skin shimmering faintly in shades of silver and violet. Her eyes were large and luminous, reflecting the light around her, and her hair, or what passed for hair, flowed like liquid metal. Her tail, now twitching slightly under Alex's foot, was long and elegant, tipped with a subtle, bioluminescent glow. For a moment, Alex thought he might be in serious trouble. But then, she laughed. It was not the harsh laugh of someone offended or angry. It was soft, melodic, and it carried over the crowd like wind chimes caught in a gentle breeze. Every head in the marketplace turned to watch, and then she said the words that would forever change his understanding of interstellar etiquette. "Do you want to marry me, human?" Alex blinked. Twice. Then, a third time. His mouth opened, closed, and opened again. He tried to find words, but his brain refused to cooperate. I didn't," he stammered. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean." The alien woman's laughter rang again. She stepped closer, and Alex noticed that despite her height, her movements were fluid, almost dancing. "No need to apologize," she said. Her voice carried warmth, amusement, and something else he could not quite identify. "In my culture, stepping on my tail, it is not merely an accident. It is a sign of destiny, of bravery, or perhaps unusual curiosity." Alex's mind raced. Bravery? Destiny? Curiosity? "I just tripped." He wanted to explain, wanted to tell her that he was clumsy and meant no harm, but every word seemed inadequate. She tilted her head, studying him with those enormous, luminous eyes. "You are different," she said. "Not like the others. That is why I asked this question." The crowd around them was buzzing now, murmuring in the melodic alien language. Alex could not understand the words, but he could sense the tension, the excitement, the curiosity. Whispers and glances followed him as the woman gestured for him to follow her. He had no choice. His curiosity, his human instinct to survive awkward situations, and a creeping sense of adventure drove him forward. He followed her to a floating pavilion that hung above the marketplace, suspended by thin, glowing beams of energy. Inside, the pavilion was breathtaking. The floor seemed to be made of liquid light, and the walls were transparent, showing the vast city below and the glowing ocean beyond. Several aliens of various shapes and colors were seated on elegant, floating chairs. They regarded Alex with quiet curiosity, some nodding slightly, others whispering to each other. "This is Lyra," one of the seated aliens said, in a tone of authority. "She has chosen to speak with you. Do not disappoint her." Lyra smiled at him again, that same soft, musical sound. Alex realized that despite the strange circumstances, he was beginning to feel a spark of hope. Maybe this was not a punishment. Maybe this was an opportunity. "I am Alex Carter," he said cautiously, bowing slightly. "I am honored to meet you." Lyra's smile widened. "You are brave, Alex Carter, to admit your name so easily in front of others. Most humans would hesitate. But you are different. That is why I ask, do you wish to marry me?" Alex's brain screamed in confusion. Marry her? He barely understood her culture. Barely understood anything about this world. And yet here she was, offering him a bond that humans considered sacred and lifelong. I don't know," he said honestly. I think I need to understand what this means. Please, explain." She nodded, her tail flicking gracefully behind her. "In my world, a union like this is rare. It signifies respect, mutual recognition, and a bond that can influence the paths of entire cities, even nations. To refuse is not dishonorable. But to accept, it is a sign of trust. And perhaps, potential friendship between our peoples." Alex's mind whirled. Friendship? Trust? Political influence? He had come to Xylaris expecting to study alien technology, not navigate diplomatic rituals of a species he barely understood, and yet he could feel the weight of the moment. The importance of every choice he made here. He glanced around the pavilion, taking in the council members. They were all watching him now, silent but expectant. Some of them nodded slightly, as if signaling that his answer mattered more than his hesitation. "Why me?" Alex finally asked. There must be thousands of humans. Why would you choose me?" Alex space. "Why would you choose me?" Lyra tilted her head, her eyes glimmering with amusement and curiosity. "Because you are honest. And because you acted without fear when others might have fled. Stepping on my tail was not just an accident. It was a human reaction, clumsy, yes. But unafraid, uncalculated, unpredictable. That is rare among humans, and even rarer among those who seek to walk among us." Alex swallowed hard. He wanted to laugh, or cry, or perhaps do both at the same time. He had never thought of clumsiness as a virtue, yet here it was, the very thing that had drawn him into the heart of alien attention. "Do you need time to decide?" Lyra asked gently. Alex nodded. Yes, I think I do." She smiled, a warm, radiant expression. "Then, you shall have it. But know this. Destiny has a way of moving faster than one expects. The moment you step into my world, you are already part of it. The choice is yours, but time will not wait forever." As he left the pavilion, escorted back through the marketplace, Alex felt eyes following him, curious, expectant, judgmental. Some aliens whispered to each other, pointing at him and Lyra, while others simply stared in quiet fascination. Humans were rare here, but humans who drew attention in such a way, even rarer. Alex's team, waiting at the edge of the marketplace, rushed to him. "Alex, are you okay?" his colleague called. "What happened? You look different." I think I may have just met someone who wants to marry me," Alex said, his voice a mix of disbelief and excitement. His team laughed nervously, thinking he was joking. "Marry an alien?" one of them said. "Are you serious?" Alex shook his head, still trying to process the whirlwind of the last hour. "I know it sounds crazy," he admitted, "but I think she believes I'm special, and somehow, stepping on her tail made all the difference." For the first time since arriving on Xylaris, Alex felt both exhilarated and terrified. He was a human among aliens, out of his element, and yet he had been thrown into a situation that could change the course of his life. He didn't know if he was ready for what lay ahead, but he felt a spark, a tiny, stubborn spark that perhaps he was capable of more than he had ever imagined. As the sun of Xylaris dipped below the horizon, casting the city in shades of violet and gold, Alex looked back at the floating pavilion. Lyra's figure shimmered in the distance, her tail curling elegantly, as if beckoning him to step further into this strange new world. Alex took a deep breath. Whatever came next, he knew one thing for certain. His life on Xylaris had just begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. Alex woke early the next day, the memory of Lyra's glowing eyes and her tale still vivid in his mind. He couldn't stop thinking about what she had said. Marry her? On another planet? Among beings whose culture he barely understood? The thought should have terrified him. Yet it stirred a strange excitement. His team was already gathered at the edge of the floating city. "We need to review today's survey route," said Dr. Hana Lee, the team's leader. "We're mapping the northern sectors for new energy nodes." "But, Alex," she paused, glancing at him with a raised eyebrow. "You're distracted. Are you sure you're ready for this?" Alex forced a smile. "Yes, I'm fine," he said. But even as he said it, he realized that he wasn't. His mind kept returning to Lyra, the pavilion, and the unexpected question that had changed everything. The team moved through the marketplace again, now quieter in the early hours. The vendors were arranging their goods, floating baskets of glowing fruits and crystal tools. Alex found himself observing everything with new attention: the way aliens interacted, their body language, their subtle signals of respect and hierarchy. He realized that understanding Lyra's culture would require more than just observation. He would need to listen, to learn, and to anticipate. As they passed a large fountain that shimmered with liquid light, Alex noticed a small group of children playing near the edge. Their tails flicked in synchronized motion, a game he could not fully understand, but one that made him smile. He had spent years in human cities, but never had he seen anything like this. Suddenly, he felt a presence behind him. He turned to see Lyra herself approaching, moving with her usual grace. Alex froze, unsure whether to greet her formally or casually. She stopped a few feet away, her luminous eyes studying him carefully. "You returned," she said simply. "Yes," Alex replied. "I wanted to observe the marketplace. Learn more about your people." "Don." Lyra tilted her head, her expression curious. "Observing is good. Understanding is better. You are different, Alex Carter. Humans are often noisy, impatient, clumsy. Yet you try to understand, even when you do not fully grasp what is happening. That is rare." Alex felt a flush of pride mixed with embarrassment. "I'm still clumsy," he admitted. "I stepped on your tail yesterday. After all." Lyra's laugh rang like chimes again, soft and melodic. "Yes, and that is why we are speaking now. That moment, it revealed something about you. Courage, perhaps. Honesty, perhaps. A human instinct that I have not often seen. Many Xylarians would have fled, or ignored it. You did neither." Alex wanted to protest, to say it had been pure accident. But somehow, he felt that would miss the point. She was seeing something deeper, a quality of humanity that went beyond simple action. "I need to understand more," he said carefully. "About your culture. About what it means to accept you. I don't want to offend you." Lyra nodded approvingly. "Good. That is wise. You will see that our ways are complex. Rituals, hierarchies, subtle signs. One mistake can cause offense. Another can create opportunity. Humans are direct. We are indirect. But if you learn, you will gain much." She gestured for him to follow her to her pavilion once more. This time, the journey was different. Alex paid attention to details he had ignored before: the gentle hum of energy lines in the air, the careful steps of other aliens avoiding one another, the way merchants bowed subtly when Lyra passed. Everything spoke of a society built on balance, respect, and precision. Inside the pavilion, Lyra's court awaited. Several council members nodded in greeting as Alex entered. One, a tall alien with amber skin and multiple eyes, spoke in measured tones. "Alex Carter, welcome again. We are observing your reactions. Your presence here is unusual, and your behavior thus far has been intriguing." Alex bowed slightly, unsure what to say. "Thank you," he said simply. Lyra moved beside him. They test. It is how we learn about a person's character. They wish to see if you can navigate our world without losing yourself. Many humans fail. Alex swallowed hard. I will try my best. Lyra smiled. And the council members murmured approval. Good, she said. Now, you must understand one key thing. A union between a human and a Xylarian is not merely personal, it is symbolic. It can create alliances, foster understanding, or even bring prosperity. That is why we observe you. Alex nodded, realizing the weight of her words. He had expected a simple adventure, maybe a chance to explore alien technology. Instead, he found himself in the middle of a cultural and political landscape that could change entire cities. He felt both exhilarated and intimidated. Lyra led him to a table where holographic images floated above a crystal surface. They displayed scenes of her planet's history, towering cities, grand celebrations, and humans interacting in small numbers with her people over centuries. Each image showed humans as innovative, brave, and often unorthodox. You see, Lyra said, humans are rare here. Few come willingly, and fewer stay. Those who do often impress with qualities we find admirable. Courage, adaptability, creativity. That is why your presence matters. That is why your actions yesterday were noted. Alex studied the images, feeling a strange sense of pride. Humans had traveled far in space, overcome immense challenges, and yet, on this planet, they were still strangers. And yet, perhaps strangers could make a difference. The conversation was interrupted by a sudden alert from the pavilion's observation system. A small drone buzzed into the room, projecting a live image of the marketplace. A group of Xylarians, clearly displeased, was gathered near one of the floating stalls. They spoke in rapid tones, gesturing angrily. Lyra's eyes narrowed. There is tension among the nobles. Some disapprove of my curiosity, my choices. They see humans as unpredictable, possibly dangerous. You may have stirred this more than you know. Alex felt a rush of panic. I didn't mean. You did nothing wrong, Lyra said softly, placing a hand on his shoulder. But this is our world. Unfamiliar actions create ripples. You must observe. Yes, but also act wisely. That is why I brought you here. To teach you. And perhaps, to see if you are ready. Over the next few hours, Alex learned more than he could have imagined. He studied customs, rituals, and the subtle ways Xylarians communicated. He learned that a bow meant respect, a tilt of the head could indicate agreement or dissent, and the position of one's tail could reveal emotions hidden beneath calm faces. He practiced politely, clumsily at first. But Lyra guided him with patience and amusement. During a break, they walked along a terrace overlooking the glowing ocean. Do you find this world strange? Lyra asked. Very, Alex admitted, but beautiful, and complex. I think I can learn, if you guide me. Lyra smiled. Good. That is what I hoped. Humans often underestimate the power of understanding. It is not strength or size that matters here, but awareness, respect, and the courage to act correctly when others cannot. Alex nodded, feeling the truth of her words. I want to understand. I want to do what's right. Even if I make mistakes, I want to learn. That is why you are different, Lyra said softly. Many would panic, many would flee. You observe, you reflect, and you act. That is why I am intrigued. That is why this union could be possible. Not for tradition, not for politics alone, but for what humans can bring to our world. As the day drew to a close, Alex felt exhausted yet energized. He had learned about alien etiquette, political tensions, and the subtle power humans could wield through understanding and courage. He realized that Lyra's question yesterday had not been frivolous. It was a test, a challenge, and a chance all at once. Walking back to the marketplace with her, Alex felt a strange bond forming. It was not love, not yet, but respect, curiosity, and a recognition of potential. Humans were small in the grand scheme of the universe, yet here, on Xylaris, he could see how their qualities, adaptability, ingenuity, honesty, could shape destinies. Lyra stopped and looked at him, her eyes glowing softly in the twilight. "Remember this, Alex Carter. You are human, and that is enough. Your bravery, your honesty, your curiosity, they are rare here, and rare things are noticed, valued, and sometimes chosen." Alex nodded, feeling the weight and warmth of her words. He had no idea what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing. He had taken the first step into a world far beyond what he had imagined, and he was determined to rise to the challenge. As night fell over Xylaris, the floating city shimmered like a constellation come to life. Alex looked up at the stars above, feeling a strange connection to both his home planet and this alien world. The adventure had just begun, and with Lyra's guidance, he sensed that humans might have more to offer than anyone had ever realized. The morning air on Xylaris shimmered with energy. The floating city pulsed softly with light, each building suspended by anti-gravity beams that glowed like veins of silver. Alex Carter felt a mix of excitement and tension as he prepared to meet Lyra once more. The last few days had been a whirlwind of learning customs, understanding the delicate balance of her society, and trying not to trip over anything or anyone. But he felt ready to take the next step in his unusual journey. He made his way to the marketplace, where a quiet hum of activity greeted him. Merchants were arranging their goods, luminescent fruits, delicate fabrics, and tools that floated without touching the ground. Xylarians moved gracefully, tails flicking in subtle signals of greeting or caution. Alex was careful to observe every detail, trying to anticipate any mistake that could offend. Lyra was waiting for him near the central fountain, her tail coiling and uncoiling with a soft glow. She smiled when she saw him. "Good morning, Alex. Today you will see how our world reacts to unexpected changes. Are you prepared?" "I think so," Alex said, though his stomach tightened. "What do you mean by unexpected changes?" She tilted her head, her luminous eyes studying him. "Some among my people do not welcome novelty, especially from humans. They fear unpredictability. Today, you may face that fear directly, but I believe you can handle it." Before Alex could respond, a sudden commotion erupted in the marketplace. A group of Xylarians, clearly in disagreement with Lyra's choices, had begun arguing loudly near a floating stall. Their gestures were sharp, their tails flicking in agitation. A few of them were moving toward Lyra's pavilion with haste, their expressions dark with intent. Alex felt a surge of panic. "What's happening?" he whispered. "They are attempting to challenge me," Lyra said calmly, though her eyes were sharp. "They wish to intimidate, to demonstrate that humans are not welcome. But we will not flee. We will show them strength not just of arms, but of mind and courage." Before Alex could protest, Lyra guided him toward the pavilion. "Observe, and when necessary, act. Humans have abilities they often underestimate. Today, you will see how yours may matter." Inside the pavilion, the council members were already in discussion. Holographic images of the marketplace displayed the advancing group of dissenting Xylarians. Lyra addressed them with calm authority. "Stop your approach. You will not disrupt what you do not understand. Let him, our guest, see our world as it truly is." Alex's mind raced. He had no weapons, no defenses, nothing that could directly challenge an organized group of aliens. And yet, he realized that brute force was not the solution here. Humans thrived on thinking differently, solving problems in unexpected ways. Maybe that was the advantage he could bring. The first group of dissenters reached the pavilion entrance. They moved with precision, expecting fear or retreat. Instead, Alex stepped forward. He raised his hands in a universal gesture of attention, then quickly assessed the structure of the pavilion. Its floating platforms could be adjusted, its energy fields manipulated. He remembered the small interface panel he had noticed the day before. Using gestures he had observed Lyra's aide's use, he activated the panel. Lights shifted, platforms realigned, and a temporary barrier formed, subtle but strong enough to redirect the advancing group without harming them. The dissenters stopped, confused. They muttered among themselves, their movements cautious. Alex could feel their hesitation, the same hesitation humans experienced when facing the unfamiliar. But he did not stop. Using logic and calm commands, he adjusted the floating pathways, guiding the dissenters back toward their starting positions without confrontation. Lyra watched silently, her expression unreadable, though her tail flicked with what Alex guessed was approval. He realized that he was using human ingenuity, quick thinking, observation, and adaptability to navigate a crisis in a way that Xylarians had not anticipated. After several tense minutes, the dissenters finally withdrew, frustrated but unharmed. The council members looked at Alex with a mix of surprise and respect. One of them, the tall, amber-skinned alien, spoke first. "You have handled this situation with skill. Humans are often impulsive, but your methods were precise, clever, and effective. This is unexpected." Alex felt a rush of relief, followed by a quiet pride. "I just tried to think, not to fight, not to hurt anyone." Lyra's smile was radiant. "That is exactly why it worked. Strength is not always measured in power. Sometimes it is measured in thought, courage, and clarity. You, Alex Carter, have demonstrated all three." The council murmured among themselves, impressed. Alex realized that his human traits, improvisation, empathy, and quick problem-solving had just earned him respect in an alien society that valued careful precision above all else. Lyra led him to a balcony overlooking the marketplace. The city glowed softly in the evening light, and the dissenters were retreating, their expressions unreadable. "Today," Lyra said, "you have shown that humans can bring balance to our world. Not by challenging traditions blindly, but by navigating them wisely. You have done what few Xylarians could, act decisively without fear and without harm." Alex exhaled, feeling the weight of her words. I just tried to help," he said. "I never thought I could make such a difference." "That is the essence of humanity," Lyra said. "You underestimate yourselves. You see yourselves as small, fragile, or inexperienced. But your creativity, your courage, and your empathy can influence worlds. Today, you have proven it." The evening grew darker, and the city lights shimmered in the artificial twilight. Lyra motioned for Alex to sit beside her on the balcony's edge. "You see, Alex, your presence here is more than a curiosity. It is a demonstration that humans can be a force of change without destruction. That is why I asked you to marry me, not out of whim, but because I see potential in you, and in your people." Alex was quiet for a moment, processing her words. You really believe that humans can matter here?" Lyra's eyes glowed softly. "I do. But you must understand one thing. It is not enough to act once. To truly make a difference, you must be consistent, courageous, and aware. Will you do that, Alex Carter?" He nodded, determination settling in his chest. "Yes. I will try my best. I want to help. And I want to learn. I want to understand your world. And be part of it." Lyra smiled, a mixture of pride and approval. "Then you are ready for the next step. But it will not be easy. You will face challenges that test your mind, your courage, and your heart. That is how humans prove themselves worthy in our eyes." Over the next few days, Alex continued to learn. But now, with a sense of purpose. He accompanied Lyra to meetings, observed her interactions with nobles, and began to understand the delicate balance of influence and respect that governed Xylaris. Each encounter was a lesson in diplomacy, culture, and strategy. He found himself thinking ahead, anticipating responses, and finding creative solutions to problems. One afternoon, as they walked along the luminescent pathways of the city, an urgent message arrived. A neighboring sector was experiencing instability. A small research team had become trapped when an energy conduit malfunctioned. The city's standard rescue protocols were failing, and time was critical. Lyra looked at Alex, her expression serious. "This is your moment, human. Can you help?" Alex's heart pounded. He had no experience in alien rescue operations, but he remembered the principles he had observed: careful assessment, rapid adaptation, and improvisation. "Yes," he said. "I'll try. Tell me what we know." Using the holographic displays, Alex analyzed the situation. He noticed structural weaknesses, energy fluctuations, and potential escape routes that the Xylarian rescue team had overlooked. With Lyra's guidance, he coordinated a plan that combined human intuition with alien technology. The rescue was tense. Platforms shifted unpredictably, conduits sparked dangerously, and the trapped team signaled their location frantically. Alex instructed the rescuers, suggesting adjustments and quick maneuvers. Slowly, methodically, the trapped researchers were brought to safety. Not a single life was lost. When the operation concluded, the council and the rescued team praised Alex. "Incredible," Lyra said softly. "You acted with calm, intelligence, and courage. You have saved lives today and shown that humans are more than observers. You are partners, capable of real impact." Alex felt a mix of relief, exhaustion, and pride. For the first time, he truly understood what Lyra had meant. Humans were small in the universe, but their ingenuity, courage, and empathy allowed them to shine in ways that others could not anticipate. That night, as the city glowed beneath them, Alex and Lyra stood on the pavilion balcony. "Do you see now?" Lyra asked gently. "Humans matter. You matter." Alex nodded. "I see it now, and I want to keep proving it, not just for me, but for humanity." Lyra's smile was soft, approving, and filled with quiet warmth. "Then we will move forward together. You have faced the first challenge, Alex. More will come. But you are ready. That is why this union may truly be possible. Not just for tradition, but because humans can change the world in ways even Xylarians did not imagine." Alex looked at the floating city, the glowing ocean, and the alien skies above. He felt a surge of hope and purpose. He was not just a visitor here. He was part of something greater. He could make a difference, not by overpowering, but by understanding, adapting, and acting wisely. And for the first time since stepping on Lyra's tail, Alex felt that maybe, just maybe, he was exactly where he needed to be. The city of Xylaris gleamed under a violet sky as Alex Carter walked alongside Lyra. The events of the past days had tested him in ways he could never have imagined. From stepping on her tail to navigating the delicate politics of her people, and finally saving the trapped research team with quick thinking, he had grown in confidence, understanding, and courage. And now, the final moment had come. Lyra led him to the central pavilion, a floating structure that glimmered like a constellation. The council was assembled, their expressions a mix of curiosity, approval, and cautious anticipation. Lyra turned to Alex, her luminous eyes reflecting the soft light of the city. "Today," she said, "you will make your choice. Your presence here has proven that humans have qualities we value: courage, intelligence, empathy, and adaptability. But a decision must be made. Not for politics alone, but for what is right for both our peoples." Alex felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had learned so much, adapted to alien customs, and faced real challenges. He had seen how humans could make a difference in ways even Xylarians did not anticipate, and he had grown to respect Lyra not just as a leader, but as a being who saw potential and value in others. The council's spokesperson, the tall, amber-skinned alien, spoke first. "Alex Carter, you have demonstrated qualities rare among humans. You have acted wisely, protected life, and navigated our complex society with respect. The question before you is simple, yet profound. Will you accept the bond proposed by Lyra? Alex took a deep breath. He looked at Lyra, remembering her words, her guidance, and the faith she had shown in him. Yes, he said finally. I accept. I want to be part of this world, to learn, to help. A hush fell over the pavilion. Then Lyra's smile lit up the space, her tail curling gracefully behind her in a gesture of joy. So be it, she said softly. Let this union be not only a personal bond, but a bridge between our peoples. The council murmured their approval. Some nodded with respect, others with genuine admiration. Alex realized that this was more than a ceremonial acceptance. It was a recognition of humanity's potential to influence, adapt, and contribute meaningfully to an alien society. Over the next few hours, preparations began for the formal ceremony. Xylarians from across the floating city arrived to witness the union. The atmosphere was festive, yet solemn, filled with glowing lights, hovering banners, and the soft hum of energy that powered the city. Alex moved carefully, following Lyra's guidance, trying not to make a mistake. Every gesture, every word, every movement had significance. He watched as Lyra interacted with her people. Even in her role as a bride, she was a leader, commanding respect without demanding it. Alex felt a surge of admiration. He realized that he was not simply marrying her, he was entering a world where every action mattered, and he had to rise to the occasion. As the ceremony began, Lyra spoke first, her voice clear and melodic. We gather here to recognize not only a union between two individuals, but the joining of two species through understanding, courage, and respect. Alex Carter, you have proven that humans can rise to challenges, adapt to complexities, and act with integrity. Today, we honor that potential. Alex stepped forward, his heart pounding. Lyra, he began, you have shown me a world I never imagined. You have trusted me, guided me, and allowed me to prove that humans can matter here. I accept this bond not for ceremony or recognition, but because I believe in the future we can build together. The council observed in silence, the glow of their eyes reflecting admiration. Then Lyra extended her hand, her fingers lightly brushing his. Then let our union begin, she said. The ceremony was simple yet profound. Floating crystals aligned above them, casting gentle light across the pavilion. Energy fields shimmered in harmony with the city below. The council spoke blessings of guidance, wisdom, and prosperity. Alex felt a deep sense of purpose as he realized that he was not merely a guest on Xylaris, he was now a participant in shaping its future. After the formalities, Lyra led Alex to a terrace overlooking the city. Below, the marketplace was alive with celebrations. Aliens and humans alike had gathered, curious and intrigued by this unprecedented union. The floating banners reflected in the soft waters of the ocean, creating a mosaic of colors that seemed to celebrate the blending of worlds. Lyra turned to Alex, her eyes glowing with warmth. You have done more than accept a proposal. You have proven that humans have value beyond what many believe. Courage, intellect, empathy, creativity, these qualities have shown through your actions. Today, our people have witnessed humanity's strength, not in battle, but in thought, action, and respect. Alex smiled, feeling a mixture of pride and humility. I never expected any of this. I just wanted to do what was right, to understand your world, and to help. I didn't know it would lead here. Lyra's laugh was soft and musical. Sometimes, Alex, the simplest intentions lead to the most profound outcomes. You acted as a human, and that was enough. That is the lesson our peoples must see. Humanity is capable, valuable, and extraordinary when given the chance. As the celebration continued, Alex was introduced to more members of Lyra's society. He shared stories of Earth, human achievements, and the simple lessons humans had learned over centuries: cooperation, adaptability, and the courage to explore the unknown. The Xylarians listened with fascination, some taking notes, others asking questions, and many showing admiration for the resourcefulness humans could bring. Later, Lyra took Alex to the city's observatory, a place where the stars above Xylaris seemed close enough to touch. Look at them. she said, pointing to the constellations. So many worlds, so many possibilities. Humanity has traveled far, Alex, and now you are here, bridging worlds. Imagine what your people could do if we worked together. Alex gazed at the stars, feeling a sense of awe and responsibility. I see it, he said softly. I see what we can build, not just for humans or Xylarians, but for a future where both can grow, learn, and help each other. Lyra smiled, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder. That is why I asked you. Not because of tradition, not because of ceremony, but because I believe in the potential of humans, in your capacity to act with courage and wisdom. Today, you have proven it. Tomorrow, you will continue to show it. As the night deepened, Alex and Lyra returned to the pavilion where the festivities continued. Music floated through the air, a mixture of human and Xylarian harmonies, blending in ways neither species had experienced before. The city seemed alive, celebrating not just a union between two individuals, but the joining of ideas, cultures, and potential. Alex felt a sense of belonging he had never known. He was a human on an alien world, yet he was valued, respected, and trusted. His actions, his courage, and his willingness to understand had earned him a place not only at Lyra's side but in the hearts of her people. Late in the evening, as the celebration quieted, Alex and Lyra stood together on the balcony. The city lights reflected in the waters below, a shimmering tapestry of possibility. Thank you, Alex said quietly, for trusting me, for guiding me, for seeing what humans can do. Lyra smiled, her luminous eyes soft with warmth. No, Alex. Thank you for being yourself, for acting with courage, for thinking beyond fear, and for showing humanity at its best. Today was not just about a union, it was about understanding, respect, and the power humans can bring to the universe. Never forget that. Alex nodded, feeling the depth of her words. He realized that this was only the beginning. The challenges of Xylaris, the potential for cooperation, and the opportunities to show humanity's value stretched out before him like the stars above. And he knew, with certainty, that he was ready. As they watched the glowing city together, Alex felt a sense of purpose, pride, and wonder. He was no longer merely a visitor, he was a participant, a partner, and a symbol of what humans could achieve. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and often dangerous, but it was also full of possibility. And with courage, wisdom, and empathy, humans could shine among the stars. Lyra rested her hand gently on his arm. Tomorrow, we will face new challenges, she said. But tonight, celebrate what has been accomplished. Humans and Xylarians together, showing that understanding and courage can build bridges that no one imagined. Alex smiled, looking at her and the city around them. Yes, he said. Tonight, we celebrate. And tomorrow, we continue. Together, the stars above Xylaris seemed to twinkle brighter, as if acknowledging the bond that had been formed. A human and an alien, united not by tradition alone, but by courage, respect, and the hope of a better future. Alex felt a deep satisfaction, knowing that humanity had proven itself once more, not through conquest or dominance, but through ingenuity, bravery, and understanding. And in that moment, above the glowing city and the shimmering ocean, Alex knew that his life had truly changed. He was no longer just a human on Xylaris. He was a symbol of what humans could achieve in the universe. Clever, courageous, and capable of touching worlds in ways no one had expected.